before we get this started. I'd like to welcome everybody out to our June technical training. This week, Turner's back in Michigan, so I'm going to be the one presenting. We'll first start out by going over some of the training opportunities. And I think last month or so, Matt announced that they're going to do another energy auditor class, and that's going to be in September, the 16th through the 19th. So this is the full energy auditor class, not just a recertification. And the first two, to get him approval letters, we'll get into that class. He's already got 2 letters in, so it'll be another 4-person class, like we just did this last month. So be aware of that if you got anybody in your program that needs to get into it, or if you need to. So make sure you get those letters to Matt Turner. The other training opportunity that we have coming up is on June 11th, the Fuel Library and Measured Life Adjustment meeting. That's where Turner is going to go over your fuel libraries and measure lives with you in all your need audits. And he did send out, he said to all the reps at each agency, a calendar invite. So if you didn't get that, reach out to Turner, but he said back on May 20th he sent those out. So be aware of that. Do you guys know of any other training opportunities that are out there that you'd like to let the group know about? All right. Just let one of us at the state know if you guys do know of a good training opportunity, and we'll get that out to the network. So some of our new business is next month. Technical meeting will be July 2nd. And we're planning on doing a little monitoring review of program year 18. Hit some of the highlights on some of the things that were predominant throughout the year. Keep you guys up to date. I wanted to go through production. And this is our weatherization completions. This first draft is what the projected that you guys, each agency totaled up, what they said they would get for the month of May was 51. We actually got 45 on those. And then the running total by May, we should have had 498, and we're at 373. So we got we're quite a bit behind still. We did want to acknowledge that Yucca, BAG, and UBAG and 6 County all hit their goal in May. UBAG is the only agency that has met their quota for program year 18. But so we've got about 4 weeks left in the program year, so it'll be a big push, but make sure you don't compromise quality. Do you guys have any questions on either of these? Okay, so the crisis completions. This light colored again is the 4-year average. So in May, on average, we do 27. This month did 48 crisis completions. And this is the 4-year average of total clients served. In May, typically around 49, and we served 46 clients. So do you guys have any questions on those? All right. Turner wanted me to follow up with the worst case draft form that he made, the new one. How many people out there have used it?
I used it once.
How did that work?
Works fine.
Okay.
Wanting to put the cold vent pressure in, but there's not a box for it, so.
Got it.
But no, it works good.
Who else has used it? Okay. If you guys wouldn't mind using it, if you can, just so we can find out if there's anything we need to fix with it, because the intent is to make that the official worst case draft form. So we'd like you guys to be able to use it before we make it official so we can work out all the bugs. So is there anybody else besides Scott that has used it?
I used it.
Okay. Did it work good for you?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much the same as the other one. It's just a little different, but it's the same.
So you didn't notice anything glaring that needs to be changed on it, or?
No, it's a little bit sometimes for somebody that hasn't been around it. You know, a lot of the small print stuff, you know, was kind of confusing for our new auditor, but other than that, it was fine.
Okay. Okay, yeah, we're hoping with that it would give them a little more guidance there, you know, just to.
Yeah, and I think it will be
page, but.
He's been around it a little bit more.
Okay.
I've used it. It's great.
Okay. That's good. Yeah, the more feedback we can get, the better, just so we can get kind of consensus on how it's going. So, and there's been a few of you that have made some comments in the comment box, so I appreciate that. Okay, so the next thing is Brad was going to talk to us about new state funding. So I was going to turn the time over to him for a little bit. Brad, do you need the screen or?
No, I don't really have anything to put up on the screen. It's just to let everybody else know, the coordinators know things are aware, but the state did provide us $1 million in ongoing funding. It will be contracted with everything else and out there in the next week or so. There's still 2-3 agencies that haven't turned in their operations plan, so you know who you are. Get those in so we can get through the contracting process. One of the reasons why I have not actually pushed out the newest version of the guidelines is the last edits I need to make, and it's going to take some time, is actually putting information in there about the state funds and how they're going to be administered. But there's not going to be anything special or unique about them. They're really just going to be treated like you would LIHEAP weatherization funds. They'll be subject to the same rules as far as whether or not each particular measure requires an SIR. And really, you could almost call this money gap funding in a way. It's going to be serving, that idea of it being able to easily serve that client that is DOE only qualified, 151 to 200%, but give us that flexibility to use that money the same way we would use LIHEAP, so that you can continue to address those clients. We've seen a moderate uptick in the last, I'd say 2 years of those types of clients. The 151 to 200 clients, it's not a heat qualified client. And that's where we really want to be able to take advantage of that extra million in the network. There's just been going backwards on that slide, that number is about 70% is where the state sits right now. Most of the agencies are, somewhere between 60 and 70%, with a few exceptions, on their total contract. And yeah, no matter what way I run the production or the projections, We'll be lucky if we break maybe 82, 83% for the year. It's not going to be a pretty year. And it's probably one of the worst years we've had in quite a while. And with the, there's a lot of different reasons of why. I mean, doesn't change things, but moving into the next program year, we're actually looking at higher expectations, higher production goals, and the people that are online here, it's the technical people that are behind what goes on in this program, and need to be looking, even though we haven't even finished closing out program year 18, we need to be starting to think about what things can happen in 19 to maybe remove some of those barriers that are encumbering production. I know I just found out the other day that evidently AMSCO's production time has gone through the roof all of a sudden now, and windows are impacting some of the jobs that we can't get across the line. And some of those things, it's construction, we're going to be stuck with it. If things like that are coming up, with windows and production, I would like to know about that, because at some point I have to explain to people why we didn't make production. And I would like to know real reasons instead of trying to maybe guess or imagineer what's going on out there. So as these types of things are coming up, pass them on up the chain, let your bosses know, they'll let me know, and we can wrap that up into our end of year reports that we have to do in the coming months. Other than that, there's, like I said, there's not, not a lot to talk about other with the state funds. Like I said, it's going to, fill a gap that we've had for a while, and allow us to do a little bit more for some of those clients that we haven't been able to qualify under our typical rules. So anybody got any questions or just anything for me in general now that you have me here? Crickets.
Yeah.
Easy enough.
All right. Yeah, so
All right,
that's
there, Mr. Dalton.
That's a good reminder for all of us that this coming program year, it's going to be increased a little bit, the number of units for each agency with that state funding that we've got. So you guys will want to prepare for that. So so for the main topic, I just wanted to go over resource documents, make sure you guys got all the websites that you need to access the different resources we use in our program. None of this is going to be jaw-dropping information or anything, but hopefully you can walk away with one or two things that will help you feel a little more empowered to do your own research when you've got questions that come up, and educate yourself a little bit better about the program and stuff. So the first resource that I wanted to go over was our state guidelines, and then all of our resource papers on our website. As you know, we shut down the old IWTC website, but if you click on it, iwtcutah.org, this is how, if you click on Utah WAP resources, this is how you're going to access like our guidelines. If you guys wanted to make a change to the guidelines, you access all that there. Just all the resources that we used to have on the IWTC website are now here. So and I just keep it bookmarked because I use it a lot. So I'd recommend you guys do the same to be able to access all the different documents, especially you auditors and QCI individuals. So there's that resource that you'll want to have bookmarked for sure. So this is the website to our old one, which will then forward you to it, or you can put it right in that way and it'll take you right right to it. So another thing that we're going to be using a lot in the coming months will be the LMS. So I wanted to show you guys where you can access that. Here in the near future, we're going to be doing some online assessments and stuff for the new JTAs. So auditors, QCIs, crew leaders, and retrofit installers will be going onto the LMS to be doing some assessments and stuff. And there's a couple different ways. I'll show you just the generic way. If you go to the jobs.utah.gov website, under divisions, we're the Housing and Community Development Division. You just click Learn More, and then under Public Services, Learn More, and then if you go under the Weatherization Program, click down that tab, and then you've got the Weatherization Training Center. This is where you can access the LMS right there, and then you can log into it and go from there. Another thing about this Weatherization Training site right here is we've got our calendar, and we try to keep this up to date about trainings and stuff that are going on. So like in September, that BPI Energy Auditor class that we're going to be conducting, that's on the calendar. So you guys can keep yourselves up to date with what trainings are going to be happening at the IWTC. So, and also if you're trying to get one of your contractors there, there's driving directions to it and stuff. Because if you put it in Google Maps, it takes you to the different part of the Freeport Center. So, and then on this website, there's also just an overview of our weatherization program. There's how to apply. It's got all your guys' contact info. So if somebody went there, they could find you guys to apply for your program. But so that's just on jobs.utah.gov, or you can put in this full web address to get right to that training center. So if you guys have any questions about that, the LMS access, and what the LMS is, or any questions regarding that? Okay. Another resource that we use a lot is the Weatherization Field Guide, and we did hand out printed copies, a few to each agency, and you guys, we've held a meeting about this before, that it's an online document, but I just wanted to remind you all about it, and that it works on all your mobile devices, so it's pretty user-friendly. So that's a resource that we use a ton here at the state. This one, the SWS, I've been surprised when I've been out monitoring, and I've asked a few people to pull up the SWS and stuff, and they didn't even know where to access it from, and they've heard about it but didn't really know how to get to it. And that's kind of some of the reasons why I wanted to do this presentation. But so if you go to swsnrl.gov, it'll pull up. This is all of our standards for the weatherization program are in here. You can search, you can sign in and make an account with them. You can kind of stay up to date on what's going on, about when they'll let you make comments on the SWS if you feel something needs to change. And another kind of cool feature of this, if you go, so like right here we're in safe work practices for single families, and you can click on for manufactured home or single families. But if you go to print, it'll pull up it'll pull up all those things and kind of put them in a document. And then if you click this little create quality control checklist, it turns it into a document that you can use as a quality control check. So like say an on-site safety inspection, you could print out some of these global worker safety things and have and go through them while you're out there on the job and sign. I haven't seen anybody use this feature yet. It's not a requirement or anything, but it's a little something I thought I'd show you on the SWS. But all of there's tons of good information in here, and you auditors, QCI should be very familiar with this website and have it bookmarked. So you can access it quickly. And do you guys have any questions on the SWS tool? Okay. Okay, the next thing, next resource I wanted to go over that we use a lot now is the BPI 1200 standard. And I want to just go through how you guys can access that. So you just go to bpi.org. If you click under standards, go to current standards. If you click on this all approved technical standards, right here you can access the full document, the full BPI 1200 standard. It is 64 pages. It's a lot of reading. Or if you just over here on this quick links, if you go to view technical documents and reference sheets, that will get you to the kind of condensed 1200 standard form that we kind of use when we're out in the field. So yeah, this probably looks familiar to you guys. This one's for the combustion appliance safety inspection, prevented appliances, and it goes through the whole CAS process and everything. But so yeah, that's how you can access those standards. Another thing I wanted to just FYI for you guys that are BPI certified, I don't know if you've tried to log into your candidate portal lately, but they've changed systems from their old one to a new system. And so if you were on the old platform and you haven't signed into the new platform yet, you're going to have to go in and reset your password and get set up on their new platform. So just so you know. And also on the BPI website, they've got, for those of you that are looking to become certified, if you go under certified professionals, you can click on the energy auditor, and that's where you get your prerequisites, your field guide, the application, that kind of stuff. So you'll want to have that website bookmarked also. This is a good resource, the code books online. I use this a lot. I also have some code books here, but I also use this a lot. And I just go to the codes.iccsafe.org website, and I click on this little map, find codes by area, and I just click on Utah. So you can buy these code books, but they also give you a free view here. And so you can find a lot of what you need just based off of this. And then once you're in here, you can hit F3 and do a search and find whatever you need. Because if you've read any of my monitoring letters, we reference the code books a lot. So having the online available is kind of nice. And then if you did purchase them with the premium, I think you get, I don't know what it gives you if you get a better view or whatnot. Has anybody out there had purchased the online code books? Okay. All right. So most of you guys probably have hard copies, which is good too. So it's just it's been kind of nice online just to search a little bit, but you don't have every code book either on there. So, but yeah, so I thought I'd let you guys know about that. The Good Practice app, most of you guys know about this one. I just wanted to bring it up again. This is another good resource that has calculators on it. So if you're, like for you auditors, you can add up combustion air. It's got a calculator to help you with that. Sizing gas line, venting, aeration, orifice sizing, those kind of calculators. And then it's also got the appliance manuals and appliance guides for a lot of the furnaces and different appliances, gas appliances out there. So it's a good app to have on your phone for everybody in the program probably. Most of you are pretty familiar with the red calc. I basically use this for two things. It's the ASHRAE calculator and then ZPD. It works really good for doing your zonal pressure diagnostics. You just kind of follow through and mark out all the boxes. Me and Turner's used it quite a bit. It's worked great. So does anybody else use it for anything other than those two things? Okay, that's basically all we use it for. But another good resource to have bookmarked is the Energy Conservatory. I mean, we use all their equipment and stuff, so you definitely want to have this website handy. If you're doing any kind of calibration or repairs, they've got all the information you need listed down through here on how to field calibrate or how to send them in, what you got to do to get them sent in, and how to keep your equipment running well. Under support, they've got all your manuals right here for all the different products. And then also you got some Q&A stuff too. So, and then under products, under this software, if you go under here, most all our software is free, but this is where you can download like the Tech Auto Test, Tech Gauge, Tech Log, all that stuff. So we use that resource quite a bit. And then on your mobile devices, this Tech Auto Test, I use that a lot during my monitorings. Get a blower door report. And then I also use this Tech Gauge a lot because you can control your gauge and view it remotely. So when I'm doing the CAS testing, I'm walking through the house and I got my DG1000 down in the CAS room. I can see it on my phone, what's going on. So I use that one quite a bit. And then this one, I haven't got this one yet, but this Tech Catalog is an app that collects all the current product brochures and manuals for easy access. So you can get like your blower door manuals, your duct blaster manuals. If you had any questions about them while you're out in the field, might be a pretty handy app to keep on board. So. Okay, this weatherization assistant training. Most of you auditors probably know about this, hopefully. But this tool helps you navigate through the NEAT and MIA audit. It's got some pretty good information. But you can go under the NEAT audit, and it'll go through all the different tabs, like your shell, all that, your heating tabs, all that stuff to help you navigate through it. And then it's also got it for the MIA, a lot of good information. And then your work orders, and then it's also got information on advanced features, so like ability to link digital photos to each client, a lot of different advanced features. So if you want to really learn the NEAT audit and stuff, you will want to spend some time in this on this website. So make sure you bookmark that. Do you guys have any questions on the weatherization assistant training? Okay, I've only got one other thing. Wade wanted me to bring this up to you guys. Just your manufacturer's installation manuals and user manuals. A lot of times when he gets calls, the first thing he'll do is have you guys tell him what appliance it is, and he'll do like a quick Google search and find the appliance manual, and that's where he gets a lot of his answers for the questions you guys have. And so we wanted to just remind you that, make sure you got the manuals for the appliances that you guys install a lot. Another thing is be in contact with your vendors for those products that you use a lot, and see if there's any kind of product-specific trainings that you can attend to kind of become experts on the appliances that you install a lot. But a lot of questions can be just answered in the installation manuals or user manuals for the manufacturer's products. So when you run into a problem, reference those, think about those, and they can answer a lot of questions, because that's where we turn to when we get questions on the different appliances and stuff. But so just in review, we use, like, when we're out monitoring and we're looking at your guys' jobs, I'm referring to the state guidelines a lot, the SWS, the field guide, and Turner's doing the same. So you guys will want to be familiar with those resources and the code book. So do you guys have any questions on any of those?
Hey, Dalton, take a look there. Jesse put a note up there about the Dominion app too, and that is a good one. It's Dominion best practices. They've got some other stuff built in there as well.
Let's go back to it right here. So this, and it is Dominion, and I know on this page it says by Questar, but yeah, so Dominion's app, it does have a lot of the manuals for most of the manufactured gas-fired appliances. So got it for the boilers, furnaces, water heaters, all that. That's a must-have app, even for you auditors out there. You'll want to get that one on your mobile device. So it's a really, really good resource. Do you guys out there in the program have any other resources or some kind of apps, resources that you guys use a lot that you'd like to tell us about? Anything that you found handy? So I guess the biggest thing about today is just letting you guys know, when you call us with questions and stuff, we always turn like to the guidelines and stuff. And so I was hoping to just empower you a little bit on where we get our information so you can educate yourself and maybe find some of those answers. But don't hesitate to call any of us at the state. So.
Hey, Dalton, another thing. Do you have Gene running on your machine right now?
No, I don't.
Dalton?
Do I have Jing?
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Hang on a second. So this is something that, it's one of the things we've talked to you guys a lot about, again, is the documentation, and even when Rana and Susanna were up there at the conference talking about communication with clients and things like that. Some of you guys have seen the little videos and stuff we do. There's a little app out there. It's called Jing, and it runs in the background. It's by TechSmith. They're the same people that do Camtasia. And one of the things about it is it takes screenshots. So you just click on that little crosshair, and you can snag any type of and there's other apps out there like Snagit and things like that too that do the same thing. And you just capture a screenshot and you can copy and paste into any document, and that's pretty sweet. But probably the one thing you've seen some of the videos and stuff that we've done for you guys, Turner and myself, is that video feature right here where you hit that and it gives you a countdown. It's going to, it's going to give you a countdown. And what it does is it gives you a 5-minute time. You see right there, you got that 5-minute window. And that, it seems like the first few times you use that, you'll always think, oh, and when it gets down to that last minute, the bar on the bottom actually starts to turn red. And then you end up start talking faster and faster, and then you go, oh, dang it, I didn't get it in there. What we found out is if you can't actually deliver that message in 5 minutes or less, you're trying to put too much information in there. And I mean, how many times we all go to YouTube to solve our problems, especially, for projects we're working on at home. Like last weekend, I replaced a carburetor on my 4-wheeler. So I went to YouTube, right? And what we all can't stand about YouTube videos is the guy sits there and, hi, I'm so-and-so, blah, blah. No, just solve my problem now. And that's kind of one of the things with these videos and stuff. I mean, sometimes instead of trying to type this thing out, you're trying to type somebody a big old email or whatever, a real quick screenshot sometimes or a short video, it does more to convey what's going on. That's one of the reasons we use that a lot to communicate with you all. But this is just another one of these tools that we use quite a bit that I would encourage you. You don't need to go out there and buy. That Camtasia software is very nice for doing desktop videos and things like that, but it's spendy, and you're talking about making really big in detailed videos, which is probably not something you're going to be worried about doing. But it's just another way to communicate more effectively, whether it's with us, your peers, coworkers, potentially even a client or two. The one thing you need to remember when you're doing screenshots and desktop videos and things like that, no client protected information. So, redact or just make sure you're not sharing, things that you shouldn't be sharing. And Dalton was tossing around websites too. Another one to probably take a look at. Some of you are not going to use as often as maybe me and some of the coordinators, but the federal regulations, they recently moved this over to govinfo.gov. This is the official location for the current federal regulations. Always the most current versions are here. So this is a site you probably want to have access to at some points, whether you're looking up things like 2 CFR 200, which is your federal rules for grants and things like that, or 10 CFR 440, which is the DOE regulations for the weatherization program. But the most current versions are always located on this gov.info website. So that's another one that I keep bookmarked, because I'm probably going to that several times a week.
Yep.
And then just another thing that came up. So I was over at with Ian the other day, and we were talking a little bit about stuff and some of the state contracts. A lot of you using Clark Wholesale for your refrigerators and things like that. And there is a state contract out there now for LED bulbs. I'm not prepared. I'll email it out or have Dalton email it out to everybody. But that contract is available to you all to use. Some of you have used state purchasing for your vehicles. Jesse will tell you that that system has gotten incredibly easier now. They just rolled out a quote feature where all you've got to do is email them, or there's a thing on their website. You communicate with them, send them the vehicle specs, and they actually go get you the bids. You get bids back from the dealers. And I don't know, it only took him like 3 or 4 days to get his bids back. So they've really streamlined that. And one of the things that Ian had suggested, we're putting together some draft specifications. We're looking at maybe doing a cooperative contract with for furnaces and HVAC equipment. And so if any of you have any opinions or feelings about those things, take the time to send myself or Wade an email. We hope to have, we've got something we've been working on. We're going to have a coordinators meeting on the 1st of August, which, oh, by the way, we're going to have a coordinators meeting on the 1st of August. Haven't sent that notification out yet either. But that's one of the things that'll be on the agenda. We'll circulate those draft specs. Then we're looking at, we're not going to get into all the minutia and nuances. We're going to be looking at modulatings for the most part. Obviously, you know, the mobile home furnaces as well. But we want to come up with a set of specs that everybody's in agreement that we'll put out for bid. And one of the things that I will be asking, so if you can maybe start researching that a little bit now, would be some usage numbers. I've already been in touch with our purchasing agent at the state, and in that meeting last week, he said one of the things that would be helpful is if in that solicitation, when we get around to doing it, that if we can give an indication to the bidders about how many we're going to be purchasing in a year, that will really drive who does respond to those bids. And so one of the things when we start discussing this will be also usage. So if you can maybe compile some rough numbers between now and August for what your usage of furnaces looks like, we can include that as well. So just a couple of things to toss on there at the end.
Yep. Thanks, Brad. Do you guys have any?
Give you the screen back there, Mr. Dalton.
Okay. Do you guys have any questions? That's all I had. So. Let's see. Okay, I think with that we'll just end the meeting. So thank you guys.
Thanks, Matt.
Yep.
Thanks, Matt.
Yep.